You need good people, trustworthy, helpful people around you that are going to level you up and help you become the best version of yourself. Journaling, I think it's a load of bullshit. I'm going to put it in F tier. Visualization, again, bullshit. The self-improvement community has become very, very wishy-washy. What I'll be doing is I'll be putting these self-improvement habits in order of importance. As someone who is big into self-improvement, this is my personal list. This might not work for you, but the habits that I put in the S tier, A and B tier are the ones that have significantly improved my life. So without further ado, let's get straight into the first one. So the first one is strength training. Strength training, that's going to go straight into A tier. Now I'm going to put that into A tier. I think it's important to not only have an aesthetic physique, but also be competent, be able to lift heavy things. That's a daily thing that you'll need to do in life. Lift heavy things. You might need to push a car. You might need to carry your mum shopping. Now I've put this in A tier because I think that strength training has honestly helped me and improved my life significantly. Not only helping me build an aesthetic physique, but it's also helped me with a lot of confidence, talking to girls, getting on more dates just by building that good physique. Strength training has allowed me to feel a lot fitter as well. Being able to just go about my daily life and carry heavy weights and do things that, require strength. Now for cardio and running, I'm going to put that in B tier for the fact that cardiovascular endurance and training is very important. Now the only reason why I've put it lower than strength training and put it in B tier is for the fact that if you only do cardio, you only do running, you're not going to build an aesthetic physique. And that's the only reason, but it's still just as important. Next up, we've got 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Now, personally, I think 7 hours of sleep is too little, and I would aim towards 8 to 9 hours of sleep each night. What I recommend, a few tips for improving your sleep, is to sleep at the exact same time each night. For me, that's 10 p.m. Hustle culture has told you that sleeping less is better for you, that you need to grind more, that sleeping less, you're going to have more time to put in the work into your side hustle business or into your job. However, there is no benefit to sleeping less. You need the sleep. You need to boost that energy back to where it was. And you can't keep running on energy drinks like most people do. I found that a lot of lads in the military slept minimally. Now that is not a good way of operating in your life. Sleep also boosts creativity. It helps you think better and helps you become more focused. Next up, we're going to go for daily affirmations. F tier. Personally, I think this is pointless. I'm all about action. Action has got me where I am today. Telling yourself in the mirror that you're positive, that you're disciplined, that you're hardworking, all these types of traits. You don't change who you are. You might rewire your brain for about 15 minutes, but then you're back to the person that you are. Doing the thing, doing the actions will always lead you to the person that you want to become. Another wishy-washy self-improvement habit that people like Hamza have promoted throughout the years. Meditation will have absolutely no impact in your improvement. I tried it a couple years ago. I stuck it out for 30 days and it did nothing. Now there are multiple ways that you can meditate. For example, going on a walk or sitting in a quiet room. Sleeping is part of meditation. However, like I said before, meditation isn't an action. It's not going to directly improve or get you anywhere closer to the person that you want to be or where you need to be. The way I've gone about self-improvement is I've picked the S tier and A tier habits and I've done them pretty much every single day. Everything else has just been binned. Focused on the habits that are going to have massive impact in my life. Making your bed, another F tier habit. Now in the military we had to make our bed to inspection standard every single morning, and that was for approximately 1 year while I was in training. It builds you that discipline, but it's such a small thing to do and it doesn't really contribute into much. It's much more impactful to go to the gym and build discipline than it is to make your bed. Making your bed takes 5 seconds to complete. Even though I make my bed every single morning, it doesn't help me. It doesn't feel like I'm improving my life or getting anywhere closer by making that bed. If I don't make the bed, if I do make the bed, it doesn't really matter. Cold showers. Now this is a big one. Most people put this in S or A tier. However, I'm going to have to completely disagree, okay? We're going to put this in E tier. I've done the cold showers. I've done the cold baths, the ice baths. I just think it's a bit wishy-washy. The only reason why I'd ever do a cold shower or an ice bath is for recovery. And most of the time, my workout routine throughout the years has never required me to have things like ice baths because my training just hasn't been hard enough. So if you're someone that goes to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, yes, you're putting in a lot of work, but you're having 2 or 3 days of recovery. You're sleeping well as well. You don't really need these cold showers or ice baths. It's just another wishy-washy self-improvement habit. So eating the frog, I'm going to put this all the way into S tier. If you don't know what eating the frog is, essentially it's a concept where you start the day by doing the most difficult activity. The gym for me is the most difficult part of the day because it takes a lot of energy out of me. It's physically hard and it's mentally challenging. That might be different for you. So the concept of eat the frog goes like this. Would you rather eat a frog before your favorite dessert or after your favorite dessert? Now, personally for me, and like you, you're probably going to choose eating the frog before you have that dessert so that the dessert is the reward and you don't have to taste that nasty, disgusting frog. And if that makes sense and you agree, give this video a like and make sure to subscribe. What I do right now in my routine that fits in with eat the frog concept is I wake up at 5:30, I get a shower, I haven't eaten at this point, so I'm fasted. I'll go straight to the gym. Right now I'm training for that ultra marathon, so I'll do an hour, maybe 2 hours of cardio. Once I've completed that, I'll then record a YouTube video. Then the afternoon and the evening is really whatever I want to do on the island. It's fun, enjoyable, tasks that don't require much effort, much energy. Creating this YouTube video and going to the gym are the hardest part of my day. So they get done first because I know that once they're completed, the rest of the day is downhill. Now we're going to get into some C and D tiers. So we've got waking up at 5 a.m. I'm going to put this in C tier. This is something that I've done regularly, especially in the military, and it's something that I continuously do. However, I think that sleep is extremely important, and so if you're prioritizing waking up at 5 in the morning rather than getting in 8 to 9 hours of sleep, that's where you're going wrong. Waking up at 5 in the morning is great. It doesn't really matter 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Early morning starts are better than late starts. You get more out of the day, you've got more hours in the day, and you're more productive. That's very important when you've got a side hustle, when you're going to the gym and you're a hard-working man. But waking up at 5 in the morning doesn't always equal or mean that you're going to be productive throughout the day. Anyone can wake up at 5 in the morning, it's not that difficult. But it's pointless if you're not actually going to do anything with that time. You're not actually going to wake up early and go to the gym. You're just going to wake up early and then sit on your phone. Moving on to daily walks. So we've got 10,000 steps each day, and we're going to put that again in C tier. Again, something that I've done, but it's not something that has made massive impacts in my life. Helps you burn a lot of fat, helps you stay healthy, keeps your body moving, which is fantastic for your health. As you can see so far on the self-improvement tier list, health is number 1 so far. We've got your training, your cardio and your strength, sleep, and we've got daily walks. Health is number 1. If you're not healthy, you can't really do much with your life. You won't feel that you've got the energy to really put anything into a side hustle or your business, your job. It still contributes into your improvement, but it's not something that you need to stress too much about. Moving your body every single day is important, but specifically walking every day, it's not something that you really need to do every single day. Reading daily. So I actually used to do a lot of reading. I read a book every single week while I was in the Middle East on tour in the military. Now I'm going to put this in D tier. So reading will actually give you a lot of knowledge, a lot of information about really whatever you want to read. So I like reading books about self-improvement, mindset, discipline, training. But the problem I have with reading and why I've stopped recently is because reading alone will not do anything. It will have no impact in your life if you do nothing with that information or knowledge. The way I like to work, the way I like to live my life is instead of reading, I like to just go outside, experience things for myself, fail, get rejected, get lost on the way and learn from my mistakes, learn from my failures. So you could read a book on dating, or you could go out in the real world, get yourself on a few dates, make the mistakes, and then start learning how to be good on a date eventually after you've gone through those mistakes and failures. Moving on to the next one. So we've got weekly review. Now this is something that I've been doing for years, and it's something that I've been doing a lot more recently here in Koh Samui, Thailand, because I have goals, I have a lot of aspirations, and I need to know if I'm on track. And so every Sunday I have a review of how much content I put out, how much engagement I got, how many clients have I onboarded, in general, how is the online coaching business going, but also, have I enjoyed myself in Thailand? Am I actually living life to my fullest? I also review little things like how's my sleep going, my meal prep, my clean eating, my productivity. So I'm going to put weekly review as C tier. Next up, we've got podcast or audiobooks. Now I'm going to put this where it says reading daily because they're pretty much the same thing. Keeping your space clean, similar to making your bed, however, that's much more important. I think keeping your space clean is a lot more important than making your bed. Personally, my bed is in a different room, so I can just shut my door, and if I don't make my bed, which I do by the way, I won't be seeing that unmade bed. Whereas now I'm in my living room. If my living room was a shit tip, and it was messy, unorganized, clothes lying around, cans of pop everywhere, and it was just a complete mess, my mind would be scattered. I wouldn't be able to focus. I wouldn't be able to create this YouTube video right now. I would feel like there's unfinished business. Keeping your space clean is something that we were taught in the military. You never know, your friends might come over, you might bring a girl back home, and you don't want that apartment to be messy. You want to make a good impression. Positive self-talk. This is not something that I've done, but I don't think it will impact you in any way. Again, like I said, I'm an action taker. I believe in action, not just self-talk. So I'm going to put this in F tier. Stretching, yoga, we're going to put this in E tier, similar to the cold showers. Yes, very good for recovery. Like I said before, I'm training for an ultra marathon in July, so I'll be doing a lot of stretching and yoga. However, it's not really going to be very impactful. It's not very mindful in my opinion. So that's why I'm going to put it in E tier. Now for the big one, no alcohol and no smoking. Now I'm going to put this in A tier. The reason why I've put no alcohol and no smoking in A tier is that personally, I don't see any benefit in doing those two habits. We're going to start off with no alcohol. So long story short, my dad passed away because he was an alcoholic, and he passed away in 2019 from multiple organ failures. So I've seen firsthand the damage that can do, that alcohol can do on your body and also your mind. He got to a very depressive state in the end of his life, and that's not what I want for myself, and I don't want that for other people. So if you're watching this right now and you're thinking about getting into a period of time where you're drinking all the time and you're partying every weekend, please stay away from it, because I've seen firsthand what alcohol can do, and it is very messy, and you don't want to go down that path. Alcohol can also slow down your gym progress, so we put gym in A tier. So if you're drinking a lot of alcohol, you're going to be hungover, you're going to be tired, you're going to feel sloppy. Waking up at 5 in the morning, that's going to go out the window now, isn't it? Because you're too tired to wake up at that time. Alcohol affects how you think and how you behave massively. You might be tempted to do things that you wouldn't normally do sober, but I haven't put it in S tier because I think that having alcohol, going out with your friends, socially drinking is acceptable, and I encourage that. I encourage drinking in the pub with your friends or going on a date and having a couple drinks. I encourage socially drinking. However, what I do not encourage is drinking alone, drinking in a depressive state, and using drink to escape your problems. I'm not even going to get into no smoking. It's obvious that it's going to damage your health. Gratitude practice, F tier. To-do lists and planning, I'm going to put this in B tier. The reason why I've put this in B tier is because what I like to do at the end of every single day is open my notepad out, and I like to write out the next day's plan. I like to plan what I'm going to be doing the next day. It helps me stay productive. So when I wake up, there's no delay questioning what I'm going to do. Do I go to the gym at that time? What do I do? Do I schedule emails? Do I create content? Do I film B-roll? Have I got a date planned? Do I go on a run or do I do strength session? I know exactly what I'm going to do the next day. So there's no decision fatigue. It helps me have a very flowing day. Social media limits, I'm going to put this in D tier. Personally, for me, I've never done a social media limit. This differs for different people, depending on what you do in your lifestyle, your business. So for me, I create content, so I need to be on Instagram, I need to be on TikTok, I need to see these viral videos, replicate them, see what's doing well. I need to find out who's in my niche. I need to try and see what they're doing and how I'm going to compete with my competitors. So next up is one of my non-negotiables, and that is drinking 3 liters of water. You've got to put it in S tier, right? It's something that you need to do. It's going to aid you in recovery. It's going to help you stay focused, stay creative, and it's going to help you keep going throughout the day. 3 litres minimum. I would push towards 4 litres each day, especially if you're working out. Next up, we've got networking and community. S tier, straight away. A lot of people don't understand that your network is your net worth. It's not what you know, it's who you know. When I came out to Koh Samui, I knew one person who'd left the army the same day I left the RAF, and we moved to Koh Samui on the same day. What are the coincidences of that? And now we've known each other for about 4 weeks. We've done plenty of activities together. We're training for our first ultramarathon together. We're very similar, we're very like-minded. We're into self-improvement, we're into fitness, and we're very like-minded individuals. I feel like my time in Koh Samui, the first 4 weeks that I've been here for, would be very difficult. Meeting him has kind of been a cheat code because I already know someone, not only from the UK, but someone with a similar background in the military as me. So he's helped me so much. Also, I've been going to these expat meetups every Friday afternoon, and these people have also helped me, giving me lots of advice on how visas work, cheapest places to buy mopeds, cheapest places to eat out or rent a property. Little cheat codes that I wouldn't know if I just did this all by myself. You can't lone wolf it in life. You'll only get so far. You need good people, trustworthy, helpful people around you that are going to level you up and help you become the best version of yourself. Journaling, I think it's a load of bullshit. I'm going to put it in F tier. Visualization, again, bullshit. Side hustle and skill building. I've put this in S tier because I believe that in the future, AI will replace a lot of jobs. And honestly, a lot of people will become redundant because robots can just do their job for them. On one of the expat meetups that I went to, there was a person that does graphic design, specifically things for billboards. And now with AI, he's replaced. AI can simply do his job and do it better than him and cheaper than him. Next up, we've got investing consistently. I'm going to put this in A tier. Now, this is something that I've been doing for years. I've got private pensions, I've got an S&P 500, I've got Bitcoin, Ethereum. There's no point nowadays saving your money in the bank account with low interest rates. It's best off investing your money, taking a little bit of risk with it. And what I've been doing for the past few years is investing 10% of my monthly income. Next up, we've got clean eating. Going to put that in A tier. Finally, budgeting. I'm going to put that in E tier. The reason why I've put this in E tier is because I don't want to be stressed out all the time. I don't want to be thinking about my money. My money just runs in the background. I never check my investments. I never look at how much is in my savings account. I'm just disciplined with my money. So I don't need to budget. I don't need to penny pinch and stress too much about spending this, spending that, how much the fuel's going to be, how much this equipment's going to be, how much the rent is going to be, because I live below my means anyway. If you're disciplined, you don't need to budget. I can understand if you're saving for something like a house or you're saving for a new car, but other than that, day-to-day budgeting and tracking your spending, it will just stress you out. Some you'll agree on, some you'll disagree on. This is what has helped me in my life. At the top, you've got more health-related habits, and at the bottom, it's more mindset, self-talk, positivity, affirmations, because I don't think that changes anything in your life. Hard work, consistency, and action changes your life.